Def C, what's up, baby? Easy V, what's good? Live and direct. HOD House of Divac Radio. Reporting live, baby. Let's go. Like a soul, what's up? Gina, what's good? Need to know what's good? Fifth, wonderful. My man Fifth, what's good, baby? You know how we giving it up? We playing all remixes, all different vibes.
It's only right that I share my experiences with y'all, because I've been places you'll never imagine. But I'ma start at home. When I see a girl I like, I walk straight up to her and I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? You are the woman that I'm really pursuing, and I would like to get to know you. Can you
need
give
to
me
know
your
what's
name?
up, J Manop, what's good?
Your number, you'll get mine in exchange. Hey.
J Manop, don't lie to yourself, baby. You know we do. Yes, sir.
We got people to meet in many places to see. Hey, I'm really digging your lips, but be careful where you walking when you swinging them hips.
Appreciate you. Wisdom One, what's good?
You'll be causing a crash with your traffic jam booty heads pausing so fast. Hey, I wouldn't trade you for the world, I swear it. I like your hair in every style that you wear it, and how the colors coordinate with your clothes, from your manicured nails to your pedicured toes.
Close my eyes before I cross the street. Car about to hit me, then me
out of beat. Let's go.
Watching Dawson's Creek till I fall asleep. It's harder than it seems. I'm underwater in my dreams. I'm in all this jigsaw puzzles not complete. I'm just an idea, nothing concrete. Came to raise limits, get higher than plane engines. They trying to change what has become to the same difference. Shut your pie hole. I'm dope and I know my voice sound like it was a sample.
1, 2.
I don't. My nose hating on my style. I tend to take the high road, get stoned and fly low. I'm no god. I don't think
that we giving it up tonight, man.
So people selling drugs.
Virtual listening session, my brother Neak.
Christ made $1 million off of selling the cross. Let bygones be bygones. My mind strong as pythons. The day that I die on will turn me to an icon. Search the world for Zion or a shoulder I can cry on. The best
make sure to jump over to the Twitch.
Die long. Somebody do something.
1, 2, 1, 2. Don with the humans, what's up, Doug? What's up, Wisdom One? What's good? Nova Styles, what's good, baby?
Yeah, somebody move something. Yeah, somebody move something. Yeah.
I'll take them to the West Coast one time. Let's go.
Big beat knocking.
1, 2.
Keep watching. Big things popping. P, we stop it. Won't see me.
If you're on Instagram, make sure you do me a favor and leave questions right there. Don't leave, but leave questions. Since 9-6, what's good, baby? Sincerely yours. 1, 2.
Never had a plan. All I did ran with it. Now we do the end zone dance gigging. Cash. Ain't trying to brag since you asked if a girl on the rack. Still my last word, period. News flash. Everything you do stands little. Triple cash, throw the stash out. Burn rentals, then I mash out. Puffing on a pistol. Brain blower. California in the club. Tell them game something.
I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known as the kid with the flow. I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known.
MED one time for your head tops only. Underground shit.
I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known as the kid with the flow. I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known. I'm internationally known.
Let's go.
Welcome to the sacred. Dilla okay, kid. Shit tight like a size smaller than your waist fit.
My dog since 9-6 Steve. What's good with it? Q Def, what's good? We on the Twitches. If you just got here to the Twitch, make sure to reshare.
Brothers spoon it in they jelly, they love us. Cooking up them sauces from the sauce that's above us. Butter in between the bread so I don't bustle the covers. Leg pumping
I can't wait till y'all hear some of this shit that Neak got.
Let it rain off the brain, it's kinda tough with them rubbers. Call cousin like, what up with it? Cut with the colors. Back on the clock. Motherfuckers.
1, 2. 1, 2. And now we giving it up. Right here. House of Divac shit. Don't worry, the energy doesn't change, baby. Let's go.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, star attack when it's time to call back.
1, 2.
For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay.
My dog Nova Styles, Milwaukee in the building. What's up, baby?
For all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib.
I need a city roll call one time. City roll call. Leave it in the chat. Let's go.
For the cutie crushing that we do, we keep them two.
What?
We got two for you. And I knew what you would do it again.
Nasty, ain't it? Brand new shit with the blend. Come on.
To all my Detroit play ballers. And I can't forget the fat booty ball.
1, 2, y'all.
For awesome amounts of dough, 1 ounce of grass, and a fat ass for show. And cause we known to
cause neck injuries. Misplace your vertebrae about 7 degrees. Hey, for the kick-ass rhyme that I wrote, karate chopping
everybody in the place in the throat. Come on.
When you bump this in your whip.
Come on.
Cause you might bust your shit.
What else?
Cause you know it's Frank and Dang.
What else?
Take a sip of your drink. Everybody, there's money to make. We be the first ones out the gate. Cause you know we rockin' it. Cause Dank is about to spit.
Oh, baby, now let's get
in a few minutes, we'll be bringing out my brother Neak. We're gonna talk about his new album. We're gonna preview it. Do a whole set of all Neak. Please make sure to leave questions. It's gonna be a vibe, man. I'm excited for it. Jay Torres, what's up, my guy? Jamal Science was good. Mike was good. 1, 2, y'all. Gotta stay with an editor too, you know? What you need, y'all? You understand why I'm playing Marvin a little bit later, but it's all good. That's what we're here to do. Present a vibe to give energy to a vibe, you know?
Makes me feel so fine. Helps to relieve my mind. Sexual healing, baby, is good for me. Sexual healing is something.
Let's go. Gonna keep it real, Motown. Why not? Bring the vibe directly to your head top. You know how we give it out, baby. Yes, sir. What? You know what? Big shout out to everybody out there in the chat one time, man. Electric Weirdo, what's good with it, family? One, two, jump back, what's up? Sketch guy, what's good? She said trust, give it time, no matter how long it takes. 1, 2, 1, 2.
What up, though? This is DJ Graffiti. I'm representing from Ann Arbor to Detroit, Michigan. You know, the whole Mitten State got so much love for my homie. Always love whenever he falls through. You are tuned in right now to WHOD, House of Divac Radio with my homie Slide A. Let's get it.
Yo, this is Kenny Keys from Chicago, and you're tuned into WHOD, House of Divac Radio with Slide A.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming live and direct. Hold up, I gotta play my homie one.
Hey, what's going on? I go by the name of Neak, straight out of Shot City, and you in tune with Slide A on WHOD House of Divac Radio. You know how we do. Let's get to it.
Speaking of getting to it, if you are here for the virtual listening session for my brother Neak. I'm not sure if I said that loud enough. Right now, if you're here for the virtual listening session for my brother Neak. I go by the name of Slide A, aka Slidey Divac. Welcome to the House of Divac. This is my house. Kick up. Have a good time. We're gonna get into some joints. We're gonna have this interview. But more importantly, I got a special person in the building, man. This is my brother, producer, father, husband, MC, curator of events. The man does a lot, and I can't express my gratitude for him. But everybody give it up for Neak one time. Neak, what's good, bro?
What's good with you, man?
Can't
What's
call
good
it.
with it?
Can't call it, man. Chilling right now. I got you here. Tell us about this project. Tell us about the name. How did we get there? How do we pronounce it correctly?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for doing this, man. You don't have to. You're dedicating your time and energy to do this, so I honor you. Thank you for doing this.
Oh man, it's nothing, bro.
So, the album title, you pronounced it right when you first came on,
Okay.
Innenstadt.
Okay.
So, it's basically in German. It's basically inner city. So, when I was writing a batch of records, you know, I had pretty much put these batch of records together, and it kind of gave me that feel of me having a conversation about what's actually happening here in Chicago, you know, over the course of, you know, my lifetime. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know me, I don't think of concepts. I don't think of, you know, how to construct a project. I usually just record in bunches, and then I end up finding a theme along the way. So that's what came to me, and that's what we got. We got a batch of records that kind of fit that vibe.
So I'm gonna behave ignorantly. And by that, what I mean is, I'm gonna ask you some questions that I actually know the answers to. Who's on the album? How did they get involved? Either be production or features.
So, out of the records that I produced, obviously you produced on there, and Rashid Hadi produced on there, and myself.
Shout out to Hadi.
The crazy part is, and he executive producer too. He put everything together, made the final call. This needs to go on here. Arranged the track list with Chuck 360. So he was really instrumental in that part of just overseeing the whole project.
That's fire.
So for this project, you actually produced the intro, a record called Vibrations. It's one of my favorite records that we've ever done. One of my favorite records we've ever done. We've done a lot.
It was ill. It was an ill record, man, and it was also kind of ill too how it came together. Give him a little info on that. How did this record come together?
Okay, so first let me just say who's featured, then I get
yes,
into
sir.
it. So
let's go.
I do have I do have features of Fillmore Green, 696, Yarbrough, and Rashid Hadi. We reworked one of my favorite records, Who Do You Believe In Now? So we'll get into that when we drop it. But the Vibrations record, the intro, you know how we do. We get up in the studio, and I literally just let you go off the hinges, man, and you just go crazy, and I just sit there and I'm just like, okay, where's the pen taking me? Yeah. But ultimately, dude, you just an animal, man. The production came together. It was very fluid and it was very easy to write to. But once again, like how the records came together, you know, I record in batches. So what I do is I theme the records together based on what I recorded, and then I start putting records together about, you know, what goes with what and what sounds good with what.
I was gonna say, so for this particular batch of records, how long ago was this? How soon, I guess, were these recorded?
The majority of these records came out of the summer. I went into the studio, and Rashid Hadi gave me a really good insight on recording. Pretty much that's how I ended up recording in batches in the first place.
Okay.
So I ended up going into the studio and just recording. Got X amount of records done. I look at them, and then that was about a 2-month process. That was June No, I started in June or July, one of those.
Right.
And I went to like August, September. Went kind of in that time frame. And then a couple records were already recorded.
Right.
That I always wanted to get out. So.
Got you. And then we get this. Do me a favor. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's play Vibrations really quick. And then we'll jump into like maybe another record in a few. I just kind of want them to get like a little bit of a taste of what they're going to be experiencing Friday when Innenstadt drops. Is that cool?
Okay. Get into it. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Absolutely, man. So right here on WHOD House of Divac Radio, we're going to get into the first record off Innenstadt. This is Vibrations. Let's go.
Yeah.
WHOD. Homies where the hate is. Seem to take our kids too soon. Can't even be alive to see their greatness. Important they become A-list. Being a martyr for playlists. Hella gospel, this for the ages. I can't preach it, don't teach, capiche. Can't recall when I was out, talk with youngers in the street about the poison. Can't avoid it and all the noise and everyday gunplay. I imagine they destroy inside. Kinda wanna cry, but I won't. Hard to let it out when seeing what you don't have. Most times the shit's petty like cash flow when I can be with Astro stars close. I suppose myself to be. I be thinking of me to be a god. We gotta show 'em what to reach for. Only one shot. Life is not a sequel. Legacy is nothing unless you do it for the people.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go.
Divac Radio. 71, let's say the children, born in 84, and yet I got the feeling, the same one rolling up. I tried to quit it, admit it. Some old neighborhoods afraid to visit. I could talk, will they hear me though? Or will they pull a gun on me? I never know. I know the stakes getting higher, daylight, no lie. Niggas will cancel you when day turn night like a show with Arsenio. What you expect seeing videos, idolize designer clothes that they can't afford lest they roll up on you. The shooter cold, born inside an icebox. Hey government, you fucking us, you plan to stop? Nope, I doubt it, they ain't bout it. Privatized jails, profit for stockholders who crowd them. A lady lost a king, a son seen a father in between. Depression and why you leave. When I was a teen, I never thought I'd believe that one day I'll have a son and be afraid what that can mean. While living in America brown, we sold James. We living uncrowned, America stole names. We living undeniably ill, now it's a shame. I guess it all depends if we make it through that pain, y'all. If we make it through that pain, man, I guess it all depends if we make it through that pain, y'all.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go.
WHOD Divac Radio.
That last record, the last joint you just heard, Vibrations off the new Neak album, Innenstadt, comes out this Friday. Yes. I'm excited for you, beloved. I'm excited, man.
Thank you for that, man. Because the production was crazy, man. Like, how do you pass that up, man? How do you not do a record to that? It was so well put together, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Shout out to Word. Big shout out to them. My bad. I just got distracted really quick. But back to my brother. With this particular project, like, I guess the question I want to ask you is this. With the new, not even new, but like just the way things are going right now. Big word, like there's certain words that are being used more than ever. Healing, A lot of people are facing things, removing toxic things that don't serve them in their life. How much of a
2020?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was that process, like being able to write from that place of, okay, cool, I'm gonna make it. I want to heal, but I don't want it to be perceived as corny. Like the space to be vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Well, healing is never corny.
That part.
So even if someone says it's corny, then it doesn't matter to me. But writing for me is therapeutic. So a lot of times when I have a lot of things going on in my head,
right,
writing is what a lot of my pathways to get that out. But like you said, in 2020, this has been one of the strangest years we've ever had. We've never had a year like this in our lifetime. So really, content-wise, it just made me focus on what's important. And I've always, thought about, writing from a perspective of, what's really going on and what's happening from the inside out. But I think we don't spend enough time writing about that. I think us as writers, a lot of times you'll see a lot of writing that's pretty self-centered.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't understand that your experience is probably no different than anybody else's. So opening yourself up and exposing yourself, allowing, what's going on internally to come out, you'll find out that more people relate to you than not, you know. So with this project, I've had a strong, I just had a strong thought process when it comes to what people are going through who don't have a lot of resources,
right?
Who are dealing with day-to-day struggles, survival. That's why that whole inner city thing comes in, because being from here, it's little to no chances of making it in some areas in the city.
Absolutely.
So you get a lot of that.
Speaking of that, you took a photo in a very talked about area that a lot of people have maybe forgotten about, and that was in front of the remainder of the Cabrini Green homes. Green homes. Talk about that. Talk about that.
Okay, so the crazy part is I didn't even realize the significance in that photo until after it was taken. Number one, my older brothers, my dad, they was raised over there.
Yeah.
So, and then also it hones in on a very important topic that I talk about on this project, which is gentrification. So the crazy part about that photo is you see the row houses where a lot of people from Cabrini Green ended up living.
Right.
And living over there when, the buildings came down. But then also you look around it, it's $1 million homes. It's $100,000 apartment complexes. But then in this little gated area, this little circle area,
right,
it's like the projects. And how is this in the middle of one of the wealthiest areas in the city of Chicago? Old Town, Gold Coast, that area over there. So I wanted to take a photo over there, and actually Fable gave me the idea because he mentioned it, as well. That photo, it just represents the dynamics in this city in terms of the economic disparity.
Yeah.
Poor, rich, black, white, low class, upper class. Well, all within that one photo.
Do you mind if I don't mean to interrupt you? I want to just add context for anybody who hasn't seen the album cover. The album cover features my brother right in front of the remaining buildings of Cabrini Green. For those who don't live in Chicago, right next to those remaining buildings, a lot of them don't have, I'm not sure if they're all abandoned, but I know they're not all the way lived in like they once were. Next door to it is a Lamborghini dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right in the heart of River North. So just so people, River North is pretty much like your
Gold Coast.
But it's if you lived in New York, it would be Manhattan. that's, you know what I'm saying, your big commercial area, high price, lofts, John Hancock is not that far away. All your popular clubs and restaurants are all within that area. It's a lot of big money. And so to have that dichotomy, like right now, the remaining land, or not even remaining land, the land that Cabrini Green sat on North Avenue in Halstead is like a baseball park, an open field, and then Target.
Yeah, right off of Halstead Division.
Yeah, yep. I was gonna say, as a Chicagoan who's grew up here, lived through that, does that ever bother you at all?
It didn't bother me until I got older, because when I didn't really hang out or go over there like that, so I didn't really understand the dynamics until I got educated on it, you know. Okay. And it wasn't just about the violence that was going on in that area at the time. It was more so about the why is it like this? Why do we have all of this violence, all of this drugs, all this gangbanging right here in the middle of a very wealthy section of the city?
Right.
And no one seems to care about it, you know? So that's, as I got older and I got more mature, it made me start thinking like, why is this happening? What is going on? Like this can't be just on accident, you know, it's something to this.
So it definitely, because it also kind of feels like a plan a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like it almost, because a lot of it is planned.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a long story, because when they were building it up, they were trying to, I don't even know when they were built up, but I'm just going to say for the sake of conversation, you know, 50s, 60s, when they were talking about blending low income and high income homes and families, just so everyone can have quote unquote equal opportunity. Right. But obviously it backfired in a lot of ways, because as you can see, white flight left, white flight came back, and they like, we don't want this next to us.
Yeah, facts.
But that's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Innenstadt, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's the inner city. It's the pulse of everything. Let's see, man. Let's
get to the next record, bro.
Which one you want to do, man? Which one we going to next, King?
Let's go in order so it can all make sense.
Bet that.
Let's go in order.
Give me 1 sec, and I got you.
I think the order gives the conversation context, you know.
Absolutely. What would Tupac say? Cool. So the next record that we're gonna get into off Innenstadt is gonna be called What Would Tupac Say? Do you want to give them any information on this one? Who produced it? Influences, etc., etc. Hit them. Let them know.
So the record is produced by me and you. We both produced this record.
Yes, sir.
And the important thing about this record is that it's just me talking about what we just talked about right now, but then in a grand scheme saying, okay, what would Tupac say about this? And it's a very nice treat in that record, and I'm gonna let people listen to it and check it out.
Absolutely, man. Well, check this out. You are listening to the House of Divac, WHOD House of Divac Radio. We're doing a virtual listening session with my brother Neak for Innenstadt that drops this Friday. Yep. Make sure to tune in. Make sure to go pre-save that. Whatever you got to do. Make sure to set a reminder in your phone. This next record is What Would Tupac Say?
WHOD Divac Radio.
Yo, every president present from working trickled up. Every day we struggle and see it once, see it leave from us. Cash rules, dollars don't circulate. Poverty we trust, it shows no investment in any items outside of us. Holy, holistic, can we fix it? So holy, stylistic, we dapper than apprentice. Before me, this was replicated for generations. How we see ourselves to be sanctified without whiter faces. Culture, literature did a number on us. We pay the minister, pray to rise in divine performance. The key to life is keep my light ignited, free from dormant. Marquee inside a new afterlife, death to rigor mortis. Reflection when the spliff hit, sedated from the cannabis. Dreaming about this wish list, I wonder how it got this way. This thing called life is all day. I wonder what would Tupac say.
Everybody's smart enough to know that. I mean, we've been slighted, and we want ours. And I don't mean by like hours, 40 acres in the mule because of the past that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth, or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here, we have been a good friend. And we have been a good friend.
Police beat us, court proceed us, get found guilty. White drills lynching leaders, it's all filthy. Bailiffs, pallbearers teach us since the shore we property estate. We left with 0 freedoms, so every thought I think is legacy. No time to boast, no Pharisee. Let's raise a toast and celebrate. Hate to move in apathy, record deal, ricochet. Picture paint the message that you must say on airwaves. Indicative of slave, a signature can muzzle the feelings, leave you with no say. Ironic, the same signature take you from ghetto in days. Develop that posture that's messianic, let the flesh die. Money will kill you too soon, left eye. Rather take the tomb and notorious suited and best out and dead like a generation from thoughts I was deadlocked on. Spew it out while living lavish and live it all day. I wonder what would Tupac say.
We have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now Americans, you got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, you know, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need a little something, and they to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle, and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it, Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. If there's a white person who got money, then you need to help them. You need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it needs to be real. And it needs to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God makes you. When God puts you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money.
Yes. Solo Sam, you're funny as hell. We are back. This is WHOD House of Divac Radio. Back over here with my brother Neak. We're doing a virtual listening session for the album Innenstadt that drops this Friday. Solo's hilarious. He was like, yo, Slot can't be trusted. He's a witch. He's talking to people on his wall. Big shout out to Solo Sam, man.
That's my brother. Love that dude.
Absolutely, man. This record touches on quite a bit. I think the word of 2020 has been equity. Not equality, equity. It's been showing up quite a bit in terms of movements such as defund the police. It's been showing up in terms of how we treat each other, how much if you're gonna open it up to everybody and then seat everybody equally. Equity. How much is, talk about that.
No, because I think, well, for me, 2020 is reset.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, the reset button hit like bow on everybody, right?
Right.
But to your point, when you talk about equity, you think about the record, what would Tupac say? He's basically talking in the record, and the record is basically saying like, look, if you're gonna do this for yourself, speaking of the context of America,
right,
you need to do this for everybody, because if you don't, it's gonna come back and bite you in the you know what.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, for me, I think it's healthy to understand your history, and it's healthy to understand what's actually happening as to why you're in the state that you're in.
Correct.
But I don't think that it's healthy to make that king or make that, to idolize that, because at some point, regardless of what's going on, like, you got to take, you have to take ownership of your life. You have to take dominion of your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't if you don't know who you are, if you don't understand who you are, why you sent, why you do what you do. You know, even as an artist, you know, it's important to have that groundwork, you know, so you don't end up in a position where you like, why X, Y, and Z isn't happening for me, instead of saying, this is what I need to do because I understand who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's at least a big part of what I've been learning over the last maybe 2 to 3 years. I've been pursuing music for a long time. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm finally learning how blessings work. The blessings work, in my opinion, from my subjective truth, maybe not fact. That's whatever that is totally up to you. Is there's something that's ordained for you, like a fingerprint, a blessing that comes your way. You learn how to do something, you bless other people with it, it continues to move along. You aren't necessarily the sole holder of that blessing. You are just the person who has it at that moment. Hold it, enjoy it, let it go.
You're supposed to sow it.
Exactly.
You know what I
sow
mean?
it
Like,
into others.
Yeah. If you're the only one that's being blessed and you got everything and you hoarding everything and you self-idolizing everything, what does that do? That does not push anything forward. And what happens is you actually develop a life where now you got a lot of envy coming your way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you only bless to be a blessing. That's it.
That part, man. Well, the next record...
That kind of goes into this song. This kind of goes into the next song.
Come on,
By
man.
design, bro.
Come on, man. What I say, man, it's a fingerprint, bro. With the blessing that is for you will be for you. It will never stop. The next record off of this is Forever Ever, produced by...
Rashid Hadizel. Rashid Hadi.
Let me give my brother a horn one time, man. The God himself. Shout out to my brother Rashid Hadi.
Man, he couldn't even get done playing the beat before I was already like, yo, you need to download that. I need that right now.
Like, send it to my email. I'm gonna record over it. I'm gonna send it back. Get it done. I already know.
But it's Forever Ever / Best Days Forever, man. It's just living. What does it take to live your best life? That's kind of what the record is embodied.
That's what that is, man. With that being said, Innenstadt drops Friday.
Yes, sir.
Forever Ever coming up right now.
Paddy is on the beat.
I wanna live my best days forever.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever, ever, ever, ever,
forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever, ever, ever,
ever.
We rose up from the concrete, a thorny rose resilient for these ceremonies. 6 feet under Shirley, not on feet. Deal with broken heartbeats 5-fold. Gratitude and gratefulness more worthy of worship than chains of gold. 2-seaters, cruise control to go cruise on my trolls. Be a stunner. For summer madness, feed the flesh what I'm cemented under. So under in my heart, used to wonder, appreciate my conundrums with cover ups, not to come from slumber. Slip on my own call, destiny, I'm withdrawn. Years back, I'm king, left upon the heavens echelon. More than out the window with the weapons drawn, killing brothers pressing on. No funds to right up all these wrongs. I struggle daily, see this melanin, don't see my genius now and then. Backpedaling the idol, serving up this Ellen when it's white in packs, only here to jail me. Living with a vision for tomorrow that won't fail me. Yeah.
I wanna live my best days forever.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever, ever, ever,
forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
I wanna live my best days forever, ever, ever, ever,
On the wake up so grateful. grateful I could've died twice. Killed on social platforms with malice and media thrice. Nothing nice to say, the venom so precise in many forms. Public slander paid a price. Pressure king and firestorm. I is king, so in storm the vision, something raw thorn. All I see is legend, I see your heart and I see a scorn. Declaring Grammys, we hang them high, the ceilings adorn. Women so on, I send a prayer for my deceptive loins. Self-preservation, no love for my soul, her love for coins. Hate for my spirit, attraction is dead, no members join. It's not the here and now, it's what's forever. Where glitters never go, the goal is keep you chained and tethered, tied up with no place to fit in. The future generation depending on choices you making, that's the cost to live in. And I ain't going to fight now like sit-ins. I want what God wants for me, the highest life arisen. I want to live my best days forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Ever, 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 forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Ever, 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 forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Ever, 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 forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. I want to live my best days forever.
HOD Divac Radio.
We are back like we never left, man. WHOD House of Divac Radio. I got my brother in here, Neak. Right now we're in the process of listening to his new album. It's a virtual listening session for those that don't know. Glad you're here to spend time with us, man, and kick it. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. Instagram went down for a second. But forever, ever, man. Talk to us about it.
The record is like, what does your best life look like, you know? And then using experience is about, you know, just everyday life, especially as an artist, and how that deception looks, like what's really important. You know, you end up being creative and you end up writing and you end up getting all of these accolades and you end up getting all the success.
Right.
But what is it for? You know, so don't get drunk off that. Don't be consumed by that. Understand that, you know, you got to be grateful. You got to, you know, move with gratitude. You got to move with humbleness, because if you don't, it will consume you and it will go to your head and it will develop you in a space that's unhealthy. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
recently I had a session with with a life coach. You know what I'm saying? Like this year hit and it was kind of difficult, but like a lot of difficult. And one of the things that I found that I struggled with was ego. I got comfortable in a certain, you know what I mean? I got comfortable in a certain pattern, a certain way of life, a certain, like certain things, almost kind of like a certain amount of amenities to my life. And then when they were pulled away, I wasn't able to fully comprehend it. Damn, these things are really gone for the time being. Being that 2020 is kind of like a report card pickup, what have you learned about yourself in this time over COVID?
I would say one of the biggest things that I learned, and this was pretty recently, one of the biggest things that I learned was I had an issue with dealing with other people's fears. But in reality, it was because I had an issue with dealing with my own, because I felt like my fears didn't matter. You know, this is a childhood wound. Dude, I've been in therapy half the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a childhood issue, you know, but I didn't really realize that. And it came about through World Changers at my church. You know, I went through looking at a conference, and I was listening to the conference, and then a very, it just hit me so crazy. Like when I got the revelation, I was just like, I didn't even know it was brought to my attention.
Right.
I didn't even know that was a really deep wound of mine, you know, not being able to really deal with the fear of other people, but that was a surface thing. The real thing was because you don't know that you don't trust people to deal with yours. You know what I mean? So what that looks like, so in essence, what that looked like in real life,
right?
Oh man, you know, man, you'll be all right. Yo, we just gotta work. Yo, you gotta get over it. Yo, you be cool. Or I'm handing out solutions left and right, but not giving myself or, you know, relationships the space to really just express a human emotion. Like, yo, I'm afraid. You know, I'm scared. I don't like this. You know, this bothers me. You know,
these things hold me back. These, you know what I mean? Like, is it one of those things like almost kind of like a scared to jump type of thing? And because you're not going, like, I feel like a lot of black men do this. Like, something messed up happen, and niggas will go ahead and say like, shit, it be like that, and just keep it pushing. Or is it a little bit different?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I would say it's more like, say you express to me what you're struggling with.
Okay.
But the first response I give you is a solution. Or the first response I give you is what you need to do. Or I just dismiss it all together.
Okay.
You know
I get what you're saying.
Like,
yeah.
So I didn't know how to provide space for that. You know what I mean?
Got you. So, okay, how did that, being that, I guess I'm understanding the concept now, how did that affect you in terms of dealing with other people then? Like, was there a specific change that happened? Were you a better listener? Were you able to, because that's something I definitely struggle with, not only as a human, but as a married man. You know what I'm saying? Like, being responsible for somebody and being responsible to somebody, and also having to learn how to listen and not necessarily always be so solution oriented, but like be able to support emotionally.
Right. Well, throughout life, like, that's all I knew how to do was figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Figure it out. So in reality, now what it looks like is just listen. You know, sometimes it's you know, it's a journey. It's not necessarily like something that you have to have a solution for, have figured out.
Right.
It's like sometimes you just need to be an ear. You know what I mean? So instead of having a preconceived notion for a solution, it's like, no, just sit back and just hear it.
Right.
You know, but also too, like, I struggle with that because if I was implicated in that,
right,
then I would somehow feel responsible for how someone else was feeling. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
That whole people pleasing thing, you know what I mean? And you know, we go back, you know, I struggled with that for a while, you know.
For sure.
But that's kind of like what 2020 did, man. 2020 bust that wide open, like.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of things, but it's a great thing, man. It's a lot of, I mean, I think it's beautiful. It's wonderful, you know what I mean? Because now you have a chance to grow from it, you know, and it's a journey.
That's dope, man. How about this? Let's get to this next record. Days is Shorter. Can you set it up for me one time?
Days is Shorter. Essentially, it's just about how people perceive black men. Like, just how you perceive me. But because of how you perceive me, my days are shorter. There you go.
Fucking, that's a bar right there. That's a bar in its damn self. With that being said, man, we're going to get into Days is Shorter off this Innenstadt album. Drops this Friday. Make sure to go get it on all your DSPs, but also, actually, yeah, make sure to go get it on your DSPs. We'll find out other intricate details of this in a few. Let's go.
HOD Divac Radio.
Check 2 1 2. Check a 1 2. It feels good to be home, you know. Yeah, vision elevated. Beyond the structure, this home of a slave is inundated with stories. The black is deadly cause it's filled with hatred. Before me is Garveyism inside itself. When I roam through feelings, the glory is God. All odds, I bet he come and save me. Until my fear rises, genocide on Brenda's baby. Inner city cries never come out, no emotion. Internal rivers, tears piling up from my ocean. Disguise and ski masks living and lead to overpopulated prisons and courtrooms unforgiving. Searching for the products, break laws in the form of Bivens. Remove weight, Jenny Craig and all niggas. Maze, no Beverly ahead of me, it's mental graves. Dead though we living, don't know it, this generation know. That means if we don't break the cycle, this could break us. 40 acres never got it, this is where it takes us.
Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder.
I hate the way they paint us. Deaf to media, demonic and corporations betray us. The radio, play records, content is pseudo Vegas. Sin City cross the airwaves is deaf to many prayers. Distorted, how you see me can't control the forces. A model citizen, but you can't see this metamorphosis beyond the slave trade. It's deep rooted, how this melatonin make a man so afraid of nothing. I'm only human, this my condition. Imagine being marked for death, a color that you born with every day you risk it. It's either live in fear or live in king. Leave the rear, kiss the ring, stewardship by any means. Cash rules, I don't love it, but it lucid dream. Lucifer hate me, hate the way I use the cream. The free brothers teach others and reach what's under their heart. The pain they grew up with and needs cover, but we don't live in society's lies. We live in truth that our greatness from above and no pride. See myself and yeah, I live it all from what that's inside. All in all is how you see it, all I see is my shine. Word.
Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Days are shorter, nights are colder, feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. Days are shorter, nights are colder.
Check. Back at it like we never left at WHOD House of Divac Radio, reporting live from one of the most beautiful cities in the world, Chicago. Right now, I'm online with my brother Neak. What's goody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Days are shorter, nights is colder. Feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra.
All right.
Yeah.
I love this record. This record is kind of crazy. Rashid Hadi on the beat. Now, before we played this record, we talked about the perception of black men. I feel like that is 2020. The apex of 2020 was the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the many.
And black women, too.
Absolutely. Black women, black trans women. Just, it was like all the violence was being put on display. And then on top of that, the end of this year has been, actually, the end of the summer to now has just been sad. From Duck, FVG Duck, to King Von, to Mo 3 from, I believe he's from Dallas or Houston. God, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me if I'm wrong. But how has that affected you in any way? Has it created any paralysis? Has it created any heightened senses? Like, is there any anxieties about that? Like, how do you feel?
Well, it was two things for me. Number one, it wasn't nothing new to me, because in 2020, with access to technology, it's just shedding light on what's already been happening.
Correct.
So on a national media scale, you know, it became politicized. But in actuality, I was just more grateful that the conscious of it was getting out there a lot further than what it normally would have been if this was, say, 10, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? So with the beauty of social media allowing for this message, you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, to get out there, and that, you know, people should really have, you know, respect and love for all life, you know what I mean, especially Black life, without implicating other lives.
Right.
That it should be, you know, shown love to, you know. But then also on the flip side, it made me dig more into my teaching anointing, you know, to be able to mentor and to be able to give back and share knowledge that I know.
Right.
So, like, I intentionally, especially with, you know, within music, and a lot of cats is younger than me that hit me up, you know, for mentoring or, you know, advice and stuff like that. I've made myself more accessible to be able to show knowledge and to show information into people, because the more people know more about who they are and how to move and how to show up and options and things like that, the more likely they are to be able to show up better for themselves. And what happens is, when you have a space where, you know, knowledge isn't being shared and, you know, understanding isn't, you know, the end result, what does that do? It leaves people in a place of hopelessness. It leaves people in a place of, you know, misunderstanding. And what does that do? It creates a toxic space, you know? So with all of this going on, it's like, how can I sow into the next generation, you know? Yeah. How can I serve, essentially? You know, I've been even doing that with an organization that I'm a part of. I'll Rebuild the Hood, you know, raising funds for Black businesses, you know, that were hit by,
I was gonna say, tell us a little bit about that, and like, what's the name of it exactly? You said it's called Build the Hood?
No, Rebuild the Hood.
Rebuild the Hood. Tell me more about that. My bad, brother.
So Rebuild the Hood is basically an organization that's centered around revitalizing, you know, distressed communities, you know, historically Black communities, you know, here in Chicago, that'll eventually expand, you know, outside of Chicago. But the whole goal is to help people and teach people about the power of, you know, economics and the power of ownership when it comes to, you know, home ownership and real estate and investing and having your money work for you.
Right.
But also just on a subconscious level, helping you understand more about why all of these things are important, you know, and not be so consumed in a consumerism culture, and to be able to understand that you do have a future outside of your everyday norm. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Shanice Orford is the brainchild of that. Phenomenal woman, brainchild.
That's fire.
So, yeah.
That's super fire. How much did mentorship go into you getting to where you are now? Like, obviously, like, for those that don't know, my bro went back to school, ended up going back and getting his master's. Just the way you've pursued music has been, at least in my very humble opinion, has been really dope. I've known you for, damn it, like 12, almost 14 years. And from, maybe even longer than that, like, from the way you went about going on shows, getting on publications, how much mentorship did you have to get you where you are?
To be quite honest with you, a lot of my mentorship came from experience.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily have someone sit down and show me the ropes in terms of how to move in the industry, you know, how to set up your life for the future in terms of education and things like that. I just learned from trial and error, you know, and I was just very diligent about furthering and expanding myself as an artist, you know, and talking to people and making those relationships known and reaching out to people and not being afraid to be rejected, you know, none of that,
right?
You know, but also it was like, I'm just gonna keep moving until the right people are sent to me until God put the right people in my life and show up. So I just showed myself friendly, presented myself as friendly, let my intentions be known, and I was able to build healthy relationships over the years, in terms of, throughout music and stuff like that. Because nobody's going to do it for you. You can't sit around with your hands out like, help me out. It's like, no, what are you doing for you first? That's how the music industry works. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody is, you can't just walk up in a situation like, yo, let's work, let's get it going. They're like, oh, wait a minute. What have you done? What are you doing? How are you even investing in you before you want me to do something for you?
Right. What, in terms of your mentorship now to someone else, how has that been going for you? Because I remember there was a period of time I was teaching out west a group of kids how to make beats. And some of the most interesting moments were having to explain the things that I had learned because I had to, and them learning because I have to explain it. How has that been for you, the mentor, offering your mentorship to others? How's that been?
Yeah, well, my mentorship has been more so in the area of, especially with project management through music. So a lot of my mentorship came with helping people understand how to get a project from A to Z.
Yeah.
But also getting them to understand, why are you even doing this in the first place?
Right.
Because if you know why you're doing it, it sets up everything else, the promotion, the marketing, the advertising, everything that comes along with it. Because you don't want to get in a space where you're just working, and then it's like, I'm about to put this out and you don't even know why. How are you going to even get people to even understand what you're doing and why you're doing it if you don't know why?
That's real. How about this, man? I want to offer the floor. Shout out to Rashid Hadi. Shout out to Tiana. I have actually, I want y'all to follow Tiana's Tiana Michelle's path right here. I want to make sure that we can get in as many questions from the people listening in to Neak, because we are going to answer these live. So, all right, cool. So actually, this will be the first question from the crowd, from the chat. It's by Tiana Nichelle. She said, what is your advice to someone that's just getting started, or someone who wants to reach a wider audience?
Two things, I would say. Three things. Number one, create. There's no sense in networking if you don't have anything to network with. Create.
That part.
So you need music, you need products, you need music. You don't want to put the cart before the horse and you start trying to meet people and you have nothing to show them.
Right.
Number two, network. Meet people. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to stick your neck out. Let people know that you want to work with them. Let people know that you want to connect with them. Whether they want to work with you or not, you don't know that until you ask.
That part.
And number three, I would say become a student. Become a student of the music industry outside of just creating. Because what ends up happening is the music industry is changing left and right.
Right. Absolutely.
Up and down. So you want to be able to understand how the music industry is working, so you can understand how to put your music out to people and how to get people engaging with your music. The music right now, as we talk, in the music industry is changing. So
Absolutely.
You need to be very abreast on that and understand how that moves and how it works.
I would say those. I would definitely agree with those 100%. And I would also ask you to look at different businesses. And the reason I say that is that sometimes what we think the business is not what it is exactly. So, for instance, what I mean by this is, you have a company like Range Rover. Now, unless you're owner or around people who have this particular car, you end up finding out that like to get things repaired costs a lot of money, right? But you can go get it repaired through them. So what are they really selling you? Are they selling you the car and the quality of the car? Or are they selling you repair? And with the music business, a lot of people kind of get lost in music and in business and forget about right now the definition of the music business is changing, because a lot of this means learning how to acquire attention intentionally. So
you are definitely fighting for attention.
So what I would suggest doing as well, more than anything, is learn, like he suggested earlier, know your whys, why not, know your price, know your out. If this isn't for you, if this situation isn't for you, but I would also suggest this more than anything, is if you don't know your why, you're never going to know how to acquire the attention the right way for what you want. Tell them.
You gotta know the why.
Yeah. Well, for you, what was the why for this particular project?
Well, for this particular project, the why for me was just shedding light on those different social economic dynamics that we deal with, as African Americans, and how that shows up in our character, how that shows up and how we relate to one another, and just how that shows up in everyday life, because that's definitely how it shows up in this next record too. The record that comes on after Days Are Shorter, the record called What's Really Here.
Yes, sir.
It's essentially, that is lyric-wise, that is the epitome of why I wrote this record, because it basically just is a social economic breakdown of Chicago. If you go to the worst parts of this city, what will you see? What will you engage with?
Exactly.
What will you interact with?
Right.
So that was the why for me, to pretty much shed light on that and get people to understand that, look, this is not something that people wake up to want to deal with.
Oh, 100%.
This is
for sure.
This is a design.
Yeah.
And what is that? And what are the effects of that design?
That's real. So how about this? Let's get to this next record. It's called What's Really Here. Again, guys, feel free to leave questions in the chat. We're watching them on Facebook as well. Make sure to leave them on there as well, because we want to make sure to get as many questions in. Big shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Tiana. Shout out to Fifth. Shout out to Rashid Hadi. Shout out to Sincerely Yours. Shout out to John Manab, Johnny Unitas, K Max. What's up, baby? Sarah, Need to Know, Tom Toms, Tiana, man. Again, man, we appreciate everybody for coming in here. And shout out to Cousin Vinny. I see you too, beloved. Let's get into this next record right here on WHOD, House of Divac Radio. It's called What's Really Here by Neak. Who's it produced by, brother?
Myself, Neak.
Hold on, man. Give my brother a horn real quick, man. Big up you and yours, man. We got more information, more game, more life lessons that we're going to give right here on WHOD, House of Divac Radio. You know how we give it up, baby. What's Really Here? Neak, Innenstadt drops Friday. Let's go.
The police authority don't like exactly what we do or the way we live. WHOD. We actually don't like the way that we live. But when you pushed into a way of life, when you forced into a way like that, how else can you live?
Infinite liquor stores, beauty suppliers who flow from China, weaves galore. Bundles, liquor poured on street corners, vacant lots, buildings broken down, run from cops. Blue and whites are from the ops, running wild. See the addicts that used to be leaders, and then the 80s hit them, left them on base. More than Derek Jeter, crowded blocks of people, Inglewood to L-Town. Newport shorts on the trashy ground, broken glass, broken spirits that broken last through generations. Chicago riots, Kings riots, denominations, churches is everywhere. CME, apostolic, Kojic, lacking knowledge, dropouts, stones used to rob for wallets. Brothers missing summers, come back trying to move the product. Homies left them, urgent need for dollars. It's hard to make it here. Ain't no employment worth taking, can't take that Wendy's gig. Lower wages, no option to make a living with 3 or 4 kids. They'd rather move weight, risk it all, live in court and do the bid. Sirens going off, gunshots, prostitution. Selling body parts, faulty ground, constitution. Smear the makeup, back at it, alley traffic. Overwhelming, the action is pornographic. It's like this hell we ain't called our religion. It's more shootouts than mob members. That's Sicilian. Politicians see it, no legislation to fill a void. Want the ghetto voice, but avoid it. It destroys every feeling we feelin'. We're living life until our last breath. What's really here? Life in the form of death.
Niggas have to start getting into behaviors, routines, protocols, sense of understandings, challenges intellectually, cognitively, to gradually grow themselves into a higher position. Until niggas do that, this shit is never gonna stop. I guarantee it.
Because we all know, man, come from this motherfucker, you either gonna sell drugs, you gonna rob a motherfucker, you gonna get you a bogus ass job, pay $8 now, then you gonna have to go sell some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit all is a maze to you to right back on the block and sell some drugs.
Yeah.
WHOD Divac Radio.
I got my brother with me. Neak, what's good, man?
What's up, man? What's really here?
We are here, my brother. This project comes out Friday. I'm getting a lot of inquiries, man, about vinyl. Is that happening?
Oh, they came through the chat with the vinyl?
Yeah, they asking about vinyl. Fifth has been asking about if it's gonna be on vinyl. Vinny's asking if it's gonna be on vinyl. J Manap is asking, he's literally quote for quote, you know I need this on vinyl, right?
Hey,
is this gonna be on vinyl, man?
Look, I plead the fifth right now.
Yeah, K-Max just said vinyl or nothing. Shout out to y'all, man.
Is this gonna be on vinyl? That's dope. That's dope.
All right, hold on.
To answer that, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. If enough people want it.
Oh shit.
You know,
let me find out. We need y'all to do something to get this vinyl out. So, Fifth
let me
asks.
find out. I gotta hit up Taiwan and ask Culture Power 45 to help a brother out.
Man, it looks like it might be the thing. Fifth Element asks, how do you come up with the titles for your albums? What books are you reading to get those titles?
So Fifth, to answer your question, brother, they're not coming from books. What I've started to realize over the last couple of years, when thinking albums, I do it for 2 reasons. I've been intentionally picking album titles that's not in the English language.
Okay.
It's just been a thing just for difference, you know. And also too, what I've learned, and it's just on a personal level,
right?
It's very easy to search out in the search engine. So if you know that's the title and you search that title and you search my name, you're gonna find that project fairly easy.
Because
no one else is gonna have it. No one else is gonna have that title.
All right. So when did that come across your desk?
So it's easy.
Because like I remember when we dropped 13. I remember when we dropped Love Greater. Were you having SEO issues then? Or did you?
Yeah,
was this more like one of those things like? And I'm sorry to interrupt, but or was this one of those things where it was like, oh damn, this isn't a commonly used word. I know this one to come right back to me. What was the thought process on that? Like, how did that come together?
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't okay. So just so I can put it into context.
Yes, sir.
As of right now, out of all my albums, Questbar was the most searched project that I had, right?
Okay.
But it got searched out a lot because it was easy to find with the wording, because it wasn't in the English language. So if you type in Quezbar and you type in my name, there's going to be a lot of information on that project just because of the name and how it was the title of the the project. But that wasn't the intent. That was just like it just came by design that way. But ultimately, it just became a theme over the last few years where I started naming albums that was outside of the English language, the titles of albums. It don't mean that I'm gonna do that for the rest of my career, but as of right now, I just like to add as much creativity to it as I can. I want people to look at a title and say, how do I pronounce that? Or what does that mean? Exactly. That means they're gonna do research, they're gonna look it up, they're gonna get creative. It's art, You treat it like art, you know what I mean?
Cool. Need to Know asks, what song off the project was the most enjoyable during the writing process? And did you have a moment with any particular song where you knew you made something special?
Okay. The most enjoyable song to write?
Yeah.
I would say probably Forever Ever, because it was just the beat is just very fun. So even though the concept is really, it's still kind of on the, on the real side, it was just a fun record because the record had a lot of brightness to it. It had a lot of rhythm to it, a lot of groove. So as I'm writing, I'm just enjoying the groove as I'm writing. And what was the second part of the question? Just so I just want to make sure I answer correctly.
And did you have a moment with any particular song where you knew you made something special? Again, guys, please don't forget. Please leave more questions in here, man. We want to definitely make sure to get to everybody. Go ahead.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I never know if I write something special because I feel like the way I feel like right now in my life, that's not up for me to determine. The only thing that I can do is I can put my best effort forward every time I write. Because when I put it out and when I put my best energy into it, it is what it is. Whatever I was able to do at that moment in time in life, that's what you're going to get. But it's not up to me to determine if the record is special. It's up for people when they listen to it, and they'll determine if it's special or not, The only thing that I try to make sure I determine is, did I put my best effort for it? And after that, I'll let it go. It literally is what it is, because what else can you do but put your best effort for it? After that, I hope and I just pray to everyone rocking with it.
What was a moment, because like early on, particularly for a lot of people, everyone kind of gets in rap to make the one, you know what I'm saying? Like the hit record. When did you kind of get outside of that mind frame? Like, was there ever a moment where like, damn, you know what, man, I want to catch a fucking pop smash? But when did you know that was like a thing for you or not for you? It was decided by people.
That came between Paramore and Quezbar.
Gotcha.
That came, I would say, between 2017, 2019. Because ultimately the way to me, on a personal level, the way the industry works, anytime you put a record out, it can go viral. It can blow off the pages or whatever the case may be. So there's no way you can dictate what's going to be a hit or not. So I think a lot of times a lot of artists get caught up with, this is the one. This right here, this got to be the one. But what you do is you set yourself up. If it isn't the one, you set yourself up for disappointment. And in reality, music creation is a journey.
Correct.
Like, why do you want to just make just one classic album or one dope album? No, right. Make every album
that
dope. Make every album hit. Like, if I give you one in 2019, I'm gonna give you another one in 2020, another one in 2021, 3 in 2022. Just have an extremely dope journey and a body of work. Because what happens is when you put all of your emphasis on that one,
right,
you like, now you got expectations as to what it should do. There's nothing wrong with wanting something to do great,
right?
But man, that album you put out 2 years ago, by the time you put out 2 or 3 more projects, that album you put out 2-3 years ago, people are going to go back to that eventually anyway.
Exactly. But you know
So
what? That
don't
takes
get
a certain
caught up
amount of maturity, man. Because a lot of people, it's super easy for somebody to have an opportunity, squander it because they don't feel like it's coming fast enough for them. That's very mature.
You can't determine that. You can't determine that. You can't determine who's gonna like what or how they're gonna like it. You can put something out and be like, "This is the best music I've ever made," and people can hit you up the next day and say, "When the next project comes?"
That part. Oh, nigga, I've seen that happen to many artists.
That's why you have to just put out the best music you can at that time. That's all you can do. If you start comparing and contrasting, and you want this to be better than that, and you're comparing, like you're setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. Just make the best music you can at this point in time.
So, with that being said, let's get to this next joint, Gentrified, off the Innenstadt project. Comes out this Friday on all the DSPs. Is this going to be available like on Bandcamp at all, where people can go pay and you know what I mean? Okay, cool. So it'll also be available
on my Bandcamp page.
So if you really want to, you know what I'm saying, if you really want to be a fan and really support, make sure to hit that Bandcamp. Make sure to hit whatever merch store my brother got, man. Again, also, if you are a viewer on Twitch, feel free to subscribe, feel free to follow, feel free to whatever. Also, make sure to hit that merch store at slide.com/merch right here for House of Divac. Keep me with new gadgets to make this shit a little bit more cooler. Shout out to Robust, shout out to KP, shout out to John Manop and KM Nelson, Leland, what's up? Big shout out to you and yours, man. Also, again, please, can't stress this enough. Make sure to leave them questions in there, man. This is WHOD House of Divac Radio, Gentrified by Neak. Who's it produced by, brother?
It's produced by me, man. It's produced by me.
Y'all ready for this shit, man? Innenstadt drops this Friday.
Yeah.
Joint's called Gentrified by the one on Neak. Innenstadt drops this Friday. Let's fucking go. Stop playing games with us, man. Chicago's in the building. Let's go.
Keep on.
Hard as hell, man.
Yo, I was raised up citizen, second class, the environment betrays us. Lower this black and body is down when it never lived knowingly. Flower seeds to sunflower, blowing these, playing with ease. Broken corners, we blinded by all it breeds. Survival on the line, at a moment it will recede. A simple realization influenced by what is seen. Appointed leaders pushing the product you see flourishing, get you free. But Lord, what's going on beyond the skyscrapers? What kind of world beyond my neighborhood will it break us like this? It must be something special. Heard stories of freedom that go beyond the ghetto. Heard stories like no lack of wealth. First word impression felt. Third word I grew up in. The fire to the feet that dealt with it. I see this life ain't like a paradise. Translation life is more like roller dice. Every day, trumpets blown, airway, guns levitate with arms lift. I wouldn't see this way if I was Hemingway color. If I ain't white, I'm demonized for being off color. This life we living is a motherfucker.
Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on.
Chicago everywhere.
Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on.
Chicago everywhere.
It's daily, we rarely raise from the ashes. Fighting daily, seemingly coaches, sorted cashes. Young is lost, money gone, pause Ecclesiastics. We try not to be a hashtag when the system cash in on us. Who else living through a suicide? No one like me around the way, it's all gentrified. The old hood, the newer good. Rent a sky high, used to be the bullets barrel through a brotherhood. Used to seeing teens 8 months in the motherhood. White flight is back in the landing on hoods. Downtown, inner city, worldwide, any metropolitan space, Kelly, this beyond penny. Used used to dream to be a neighbor, yet we moving yearly into the outer limits of a city. Now how is freedom so beyond the ghetto? We never left, they moved back, we pushed out. There was no support, Monique stiletto. It's crazy how it settles, and minds is unsettled. The pressure breaking lives, we higher than falsetto. Whoever thought the world we living in would be the ground to break the opposite of Othello. The color,
Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. Chicago everywhere. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. Chicago everywhere. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Right here on WHOD House of Divac. That was Gentrified by Neak off the new Innenstadt album. That is dropping this Friday on all your DSPs and all that. I got a question from Jube. It says, as Slade and Neak speak and play tracks from the album, I see genuine mesh of the times in our neighborhood, society, our struggle, past, present, future, mental health, and economic stance. You continue to have albums that have to make albums have this be a mainstay. Does this drive your direction every time before or after production is created or heard?
Lately it's been after production is heard, because over the last few years I've taken more of a producer role first.
Yes, sir.
To create the landscape of the music, and then at that point, you know, I'm just writing from my spirit. I'm just writing from what I know. I'm just writing for what I'm dealing with.
Right.
So I feel like that's always going to be a part of me, because that's something I feel like is a part of my calling, you know, to shed light on those social economic issues that we deal with, you know, as Black people. But it comes after the production, you know. The production, I feel like you have to set the right landscape up first before you even start writing. Like, it got to be jamming.
Yeah,
it got to be jamming.
Facts.
You know,
that's man.
I mean, you can have an immaculate song written, an immaculate pen, but ultimately the sonics are just as important, if not more important. And I'm talking about the vocals, the cadences, the flow, the patterns. All of that is just as important before you even say, this is what I'm gonna talk about. You know, so you gotta be mindful of all of that when you're creating and writing, you know. But it usually comes after the music is made.
I feel that, man. How about this? We getting that to like 9:05. We about to crack into the 2-hour mark.
Oh, okay. Hey, we've been chatting it up.
Yeah, we've been cooking, man. It's been a lot of G in here. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's on Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. Everybody leaving questions. Please feel free to leave questions. If you're on Instagram, hit that questions button and leave the question in there, just so, you know, as people are typing, we don't necessarily skip your question. But right now, we're going to get into Broken Princess featuring me on the cuts. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Broken Princess is pretty much it's a record about what Black women had to deal with due to Black men being ostracized in prison, vacating the homes, kind of like what that looks like, what that pressure looks like, you know.
Right.
There's a lot of women who had to take on a large patriarchal role, and it creates this interesting dynamic where they have to be something outside of who they were designed to be. You know, I'm not trying to put nobody in a box or anything like that. This is just experience. Whereas that there's no rest, you know, because it's like, I gotta take care of the kids. I gotta make sure the house is running straight. I gotta make sure everything is good to go. I gotta make sure all of these things are operating but they're doing this out of the context of a man not being there.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of having that conversation about that and just not being protected as much as they should, you know.
Absolutely. Let's get into this one. I'm sorry, that was heavy. That was weighty. That was super weighty.
My bad.
No. It's real because I always, you know what I'm saying. Like my mother was a single mother, so hearing that and knowing that, like, yeah, that's 100% her experience, and sometimes that experience also comes with some trauma. You know what I mean? Depending on, you know, and again, but this next one is called Broken Princess. It's off the Innenstadt album that drops this Friday. Make sure to go grab that. Shout out to Jay Castle. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Yamichi. Shout out to Jones. Shout out to Looney. Shout out to Seb Severe. Shit. David Dion. Jellify. My wife. What's up, eh?
Jellify.
You know what I'm saying? Jay Castle. I think I said your name before. Shout out to everybody, man. Big ups to you and yours. This is Broken Promises off Innenstadt. Right here on WHOD, House of Divac Radio. Let's go.
WHOD Divac Radio.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Daily she unprotected, the most is disrespected, according to Malcolm's lesson. Indicted for her essence, for loving black men through stresses, and stresses affluent never die. Raising kings and queens alone through Reaganomic genocide. War on drugs, take the kings. War on love, killer dreams, and healthy homes, Cosby seen. Covers down, what do this mean? Pressure, unaccounted for when she the head and not the neck that she a symbol for. Heart and clean, no heart of Tesla. And if she not alive, then she died. Physical, emotional, either willing or anger divide. Foundation, fatherless affirmation, I realize. So when she struggle, never seen it stabilize. Black male scared to love him, well jail, take him so we can't prevail. Hell, go and break the tail. Biblical, how far we fell. Broken princess, this is more or less why everything inside of you was blessed. To let you know.
And that's the way I can pay you back. Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand. Well, appreciate it. And that's the way I can pay you back. Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand.
Yo, regardless what culture depicts you as you precious, don't let them make you use body parts for your blessing. A man's world, allow me total cast crows upon swine and end up earl. Our future dead the world. Careful not to cover up all this pain through achievement. Prove to many men who would disappoint you don't need them. You lovely as is the way you was born. Rise and reach chandeliers. Just don't do it with scorn, cause all you see is your fears and how it keeps you up through early dawn. Conscious of emotions that you feeding on. You are love, beat goes on, defeat the whisper from Mr. We say our women only made for home. Don't fulfill the scripture. Society ain't never God. Don't listen unless it's God body. Brothers hate this message unless the message for daughters probably. Sky's the limit, it's never limits, never doubt. Queen, use a journal, you I choose you word from Jesus' mouth. And for my sisters not winning, the win don't count. All we need is love unconditional when the pressure mounts. Brothers, sisters, let's come as one. Broken princess, you are blessed any day under sun. Word, word.
Well, appreciate it. And that's the way I can pay you back. Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand. Well, appreciate it. And that's the way I can pay
Sean
you
Hibbler,
back.
what's up?
Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand. Well, appreciate it. And that's the way I can pay you back. Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand. Well, appreciate it. And that's the way I can pay you back. Black queen, black queen. My plan is to show you that I understand.
Until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
WHOD Divac Radio.
Back like we never left. Because we didn't. We was still here, fam. Watch your mouth. Anyway. But another question from Tiana came up. What music inspired you growing up, and how has it influenced your style and sound? Yes. Tilt it back just a little bit. There we go. Yup. Marvin Gaye, right there, man.
That's my favorite album in the history of music. That album is always in the back of my mind every time I'm writing, every time I'm creating, every time I'm just thinking about how to put stuff together. To me, that album left an impression on me that I will never forget. That album, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, and that's not even in hip hop, but that set up the precedence of just music and how I see music and how I feel about music and creation. So that album alone is that's the apex of music for me on a personal level. And just taking life and putting life into the pen. It's really not too much more than that. It's just, what are you dealing with, what's going on, and express that.
There we go. Shout out to y'all. I got another question for you. After hearing Broken Princess, knowing you wrote this in context of black women being unprotected, actually the question cuts off, unfortunately. But how do you champion black women? That's what I'm guessing he's trying to say.
No. So before that, and this is just pretty much a new thing for me, because I felt like for so many years I did not. And it wasn't that I was intentionally doing that. It's just that I was living in a mindset of just what I was taught. It's kind of like, even just on a basic level, men do this, women can't do this. Men can do that, women can't do that. Like, just in that self is just so misogynistic in its entirety. So what I've been doing more so just champion now is just basically taking an account not only for myself but also just in daily conversations or just an engagement where if there's toxic conversation going on around women, I'm just taking a ownership for that. Like, I'm not condoning that or letting it pass through like, oh yeah, you're right, bro. It's like, no, what do you mean by that? Just taking an account, because you have to deal with the perspective,
right?
In that aspect, because a lot of perspectives are skewed.
Yeah.
So it's just challenging perspective, in a sense of champion.
The second part of that question was, and do you choose friends that champion black women the way you do?
I'm in a space where I'm doing that now, because I feel like it's just something that we just was not really taught. So now I'm in a space where I'm seeking that out, and not necessarily saying, oh, you have to be this way or you have to be that way. It's like, no, what do I have to be first?
Right.
And then how do I align my relationships and align my space around that? You know what I mean? Because this is a whole conversation, bro, when you talk about
absolutely
toxic masculinity, because that's a real thing. That's a whole conversation, because I can even look at myself like I was toxic for so long to even understand and get to the point where you like, who do you have to be internally to be able to attract that energy where you're not dealing with misogyny or dealing with toxic
energy
masculinity.
Like that.
Yeah, because it got to start from the inside first,
100%. Last question, and then we're gonna get into who do you believe in? The remix with Fillmore Green off the Innenstadt tape that comes out this Friday.
There's a couple other cats on there too.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me make sure I read everybody's name. Fillmore Green, Rashid D, y'all bro, since 9-6. We can't forget that. Shout out to the Gold Standard Collective. How much of the trauma that black men have experienced has been passed on to the Broken Princess? Man, my boy was working on that one. He did the damn thing on that one. That was the question.
Ooh, that's a heavy one. I really don't know. I know we played a part. To the magnitude, I don't know, but I know that a lot of the trauma that was passed on was because a lot of us as men didn't know who we were.
Right.
And we didn't have identity laid out for us. So when you don't have an identity, then you don't know how to steward relationship, and you don't know how to steward how to interact and engage with other people. You know, especially, you know, so I know by design there has been a spillover with men not championing black women and being toxic in certain manners, but a lot of that is because of not knowing who you were designed to be. And what that looks like is, man, you know, if I know there's no future here, I'm not even finna even let you continue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like, even in just dating and stuff like that. But, you know, or it could be like, oh, she knew what it was. She knew what she was doing.
That whole shit.
What that does is it takes the accountability off you. What about what you're doing? What about what you want? What about what you're stewarding? You know what I mean? So, but that's a
absolutely. How about this, man? Let's get into this remix. Set up the record for me one time, brother.
Who Do You Believe In Now? It's a OG remix. It's reloaded. It features Fillmore Green, Rashid Hadi, Yarbrough, Since 9-6. This record is just, man, we just going there. Everybody just who do you believe in? Just venting, just all the evils, just venting.
But so we're about to get into this. Who Do You Believe In off the Innenstadt album that drops this Friday on all your DSPs. If you really want to go the extra mile, make sure to cop it off that Bandcamp, cop whatever merch is available to you. Vinyl not available yet, but God willing in the works, because you definitely got some demand for it right now, particularly on Twitch.
That's what's up.
Hey man, a blessing is a blessing. You just gotta know how to take that joint. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, this is Who Do You Believe In remix featuring Fillmore Green, Yarbrough, Since 9-6, and Rashid Hadi. Let's go.
HOD Divac Radio.
Pray to God, we in dire need. I'm moving at a G, searching for a higher speed. Satan trying to hire me. In the pews is what a riots be. Quiet, please. Let the choir sing. Shots fired. After that,
Juju, what's up? Cornelius, Miss Jesse, what's up? Let's go.
Baby mama screams. It's genocide. I'm giving you the entire scene. Be inspired. Word to heavy D. Peace. I'm studying hymns, catching the gems. Life virtual. I swear we all live in the Sims. Slave to design. I hang from the tree on your Timbs. Life's Gucci. To get it, yeah, we live on a limb. I fly with God, so it's hard to see me. I'm trying to live and master the art of numbers like Archimedes. Feed my family, homies, and give to the needy. I paint colorful words, yes, all
do you believe in me? Do you believe in us? They try to tell you he the truth, that you believe the fuss. I know to each his own, born alone, die up in these streets alone. Lead me to the path, but I can only move my feet alone. Reese always told me, go and get that bitch, Junior. Who knew that guy showing me that bitch was in the music? Be a go-getter, it's more to it than being
and a flow spitter when the dough is something you don't own with you. Just believe in me.
Make sure to get those questions off.
My nose will stay clean.
I repeat, make sure to get those questions off.
Strong to the day the Lord take me up, appreciating life, even when haters make it tough. We drive a
shout out to DBIC on the instrumental.
Got grown, feel like I know the same things Pop know. Who do you believe in? Please don't give up on me. Feel like I'm better than I ever been.
My third aperture capture the real feel like 5 fingers. My pulse lingers over the beat like yellow jackets on honeycombs. Roam different places and spaces like Donald Byrd. Speak to the multitude, hold on to every word spoken. No longer hoping for enlightenment, searching for purpose. Be the reason why I'm writing this rhyme. The hands of time touched me about midnight. The creator gave me sight beyond sight. For real, whether it's wrong or right, keep pushing to fulfill my plan. Play the game without tipping my hand. Tried it, the heart of a man misguided. Home divided, the wave I ride it to the breeze subsided. Worlds collided to make stars. They gave them names like Venus and Mars. 16 bars can turn a bucket to a luxury car. All it takes is a cult following, ringing bells from street corners to colleges.
Arrival to your idol, arrival when I'm idle. Still I'm fighting for survival signs. Vital is the Bible, brighter war I'm liable. Ain't no telling what I might do. If you cycle through my life, you see the failures where it's spiral. Spiteful of my care, recite a prayer where I'm psycho. Word I drive you crazy, steering clear of suicidal thoughts. Might have crossed my mind and caught me lacking for what happened. I get back to rap, I'm signing off. If time is for some action, never mind all distraction. In accordance to passion, don't feel it, then I don't force it. It's morbid, it's filling caskets. Will I get from the low with my choice to avoid the madness? The fact is I've been the voice, but the point sorta like magic. Still sicker than average, quick to kick it like habits in the kitchen with the cabinet in the mix and fixing matches. A difference in the fabric, tailor-made from a fine cloth. Something to believe in now, nothing to lie for.
Who do we believe? These ghetto dreams, sunken place fiends and sharpshooters, gold pieces from Senegal East, nigga. You see me bout it like bees. Nothing getting between me and my glory, the keys to life. Money, cash, hoes, champagne, and powder noses. Scarface, props, plots, and sweet Sadie roses. Tombstones and poles on black souls, we monsters. Labels just the slave ships, renegades, imposters. Painted from the West, European sponsors. Raising that false conscience. Reborn demons to chakras. Out of line, sight out of mind, and pain colossal. Life is fucking with me like lost queens and hostels. Who you wanna be when you found labeled a fossil? Took the crown legacy, messianic apostle. Jesus, strong in my kingship, they don't please us. Legends all around, time is now, we gon' seize it. What?
There you have it, beloved. You have officially heard the Innenstadt album. Shout out to the Gold Standard Collective. Shout out to Rashid Hadi. Shout out to Fillmore Green. Fable. Since 9-6. Y'all, bro. Man, shout out to the guys, man. Taiwan was good, man.
Who Do You Believe It Now remix, the final record on Innenstadt. You've heard all the records.
Yes, sir.
8 records.
8 records. Drops this Friday. Will be available on all DSPs. You can go to Bandcamp and cop it direct. Man, I want to thank you, man, for allowing me. Because you know, this is a pleasure because, one, I get a chance to, like, I was talking about this last night with Ro on his virtual listening. The beauty in us doing this is, one, I give my brothers the opportunity, to whomever's listening, to whomever's rocking with us, to give their honest POV on the creation, how it came to be, and then you also start the conversation and narrative around the album. And I think that's something that, like, Moggs kind of gave away to the blog era. Moggs used to really hope that them records would connect, and then you'd get a stupid fucking write-up that said, like, yo, Neak went crazy on this one. Check it out. And it's like, whoa, like, bro. That's just tight, but you know what I'm saying? But at least with this, it's like, cool. They get a chance to experience it here with us. And they get a chance to make a real decision based around us driving the narrative versus someone else who maybe doesn't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's important, especially right now, because the industry is, in my opinion, the industry is in shambles. And what I mean by that is you don't have to wait for somebody to control your narrative or tell you about who you are and what you're creating and what you're doing. So with this platform, for us to be able to go here and do this, especially, I mean, sad to say, blessing the COVID, we wouldn't be having this probably right now, you know?
100%.
So now we have this platform, you know, being creative to develop this type of platform to bring people all over the world to be able to, you know, hear and get an inside, you know, opinion or inside thoughts on, you know, what you're creating. So I appreciate you for that, man. You know, this is an honor, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for anybody that's in the room, that's in the chat, that's listening. Hopefully you love what you heard. Because you don't have to listen to what I did, and you made a decision to. Shout out to Rashid Hadi.
Yes, sir.
Executive producing the project and putting it together, and mixing and mastering it. You know, without him, this project wouldn't even be possible. You know, shout out to you for producing on it as well, and shout out to everybody featured on it. You know, Fillmore Green, Yarbrough, Just Not Six, and you know, just everybody that helped this project and everything come together. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Are there any parting notes that you want to give the people? Anything that you need them to know? Anything that they can do to enhance their listenership? Let them know. And also let them know how to connect with you directly.
Okay. Yeah, you can connect with me. You can go directly to my website on Friday. The album will be there, or you can go before that. It's www.neak.co.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Neak_undefined. That's also for Twitter and IG.
Totally.
But yeah, all my music is on all streaming platforms. You can just type in the word Neak. You can Apple Music, Spotify. You'll be able to find me there. And one thing I want to leave with is this ain't it.
Yeah.
There's so much more to come.
Absolutely. We also got another vinyl inquiry. Any physical copies, vinyl. So apparently you have quite a bit of a point for vinyl, man. So I'm gonna send the positive energy your way, and God willing, they send the funding your way to make sure that happens and comes to fruition, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You know, I definitely I will have some things on Friday. I'm gonna wait till Friday. It's gonna be on the website. You can go check it out. But all your support is needed and necessary. This is what we do. This is our business. You know, we're in the business of putting out music and putting out good product. So if you love what you heard, if you like what you heard, please support it. I don't take any support lightly. Whether it's digital or physical, I appreciate it. Or even streaming, I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted at all. It's an honor.
Absolutely, man. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out to rock with us. I'm not gonna do the mix tonight. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna try
we chatted it up, man.
Yeah, we definitely chatted it up. We're gonna do the mix tomorrow. I'm gonna make it a part of my. That way, actually, you know what? Yeah, we just do the mix tomorrow. Try to make sure that we can. I'm pretty sure we got more than an hour worth of material. We'll chat it up and go from there, man. Again, I can't express the amount of gratitude that I have for you and everybody who took the time out to listen. It means a million to me, man. Is there a record from this project that you would like to run back for those who might have missed it on the early side?
Run Forever Ever Back.
All right, man. That's what we gonna do, man. Right here, WHOD, House of Divac Radio. This'll be it. We will see you, Yana. And this Friday. Hold on, man. Let me make sure I cut the music. Say that again, brother.
Innenstadt drops this Friday on all streaming platforms. This Friday, not next Friday, not the Friday after. This Friday, Innenstadt comes out. New project.
Question.
Featuring.
Actually, hold up. Before you rap. Hey.
Yes.
Would y'all stick around? I'll do a 30-minute mix of all Neak. Put a 1 in the chat right now. If you'll stick around for that, I'll do a 30-minute mix of all Neak. Y'all let me know right now. But go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I was just continuing. The Innenstadt drops this Friday, featuring Yarbrough, Fillmore Green, Rashid Hadi since 96, production from you and Rashid Hadi, executive produced by Rashid Hadi, Innenstadt this Friday. Go ahead.
All right. So, all right, cool. So this, what's gonna happen is, I'm seeing a few ones. We're gonna play this record and then I'm gonna just get into a mix if that's cool. Can you kick it for a few?
Man,
right.
Come on, man.
All right, bet. Let's get into it. So this is Forever Ever, right here, WHOD, House of Divac Radio. Let's go.
Hadi is on the beat. I wanna live my best days forever. Forever. I wanna live my best days forever. I wanna live my best days forever. I wanna live my best days forever.
We rose up from the concrete, a thorny rose resilient for these ceremonies. 6 feet under surely not on feet. Dealt with broken heartbeats 5-fold. Gratitude and gratefulness more worthy of worship than chains and gold. To see this, on my toes. For some of madness, feed the flesh what I'm cemented under. So under in my heart, used to wonder, appreciate my conundrums with cover-ups not to come from slumber. Slip on my own call, destiny I'm withdrawn. Years back I'm king, left upon the heavens echelon. More than out the window with the weapons drawn. Killing brothers pressing on, no funds to right up all these wrongs. I struggle daily, see this melanin. Don't see my genius now and then. Backpedaling the idol, serving up this Ellen when it's white impacts. Only here to jail me. Living with a vision for tomorrow that won't fail me. Yeah.
I wanna live my best days forever. I wanna live my best days forever. I wanna live my best days forever. I wanna live my best days forever.
On the wake up so grateful, I could've died twice. Killed on social platforms with malice and media thrice. Nothing nice to say, the venom so precise in many forms. Public slander paid a price. Precious king and firestorm. I is king, so in storm the vision, something raw thorn. All I see is legend, I see a heart and I see a scorn. Declaring Grammys, we hang them high, the ceilings adorn. Women sewing on, I send a prayer for my deceptive loins. Self-preservation, no love for my soul, her love for coins. Hate for my spirit, attraction is dead, no members join. It's not the here and now, it's what's forever. What glitters never go, the goal is keep you chained and tethered, tied up with no place to fit in. The future generation depending on choices you making, that's the cost to live in. And I ain't gonna fight now like sit-ins. I want what God want for me, the highest life arisen.
I wanna live my best days forever. 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 I wanna live my best days forever.
Yes. Let's get into this mix real quick. All Neak, 30 minutes. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my my honor, my privilege, and my great joy to introduce this next man from Chicago, Illinois. Please give it up for the future of hip-hop.
The future's so amazing and focus-driven, the greatest inspired to be. Breaking my generation, no hatred. These demons so elated to visit me. The wizardry killing me, seeing failures at houses and penitentiaries. Prison bars, depression, and chivalry. From lawyers and crooked judges, see me as property full of misery. Let's switch the thinking up. We label kings, ain't no propaganda can kill us. And blackened bodies we trust. A soul villain, a feeling. I see it when they young and killing each other to rid them out. Brotherhoods cure the killing, break the L's. I see the fans, God, they give me chills. I see the promise in Bible pages, your holy will. The soul's blueprint, godly grail, wish me well. The soul's vent, take me as I am, see the shell. The we designing to keep us calm, not a menace. Let it go, chasing my dreams so you don't feel it.
Yeah. One, two, right here, WHOD House of Divac Radio. I know what it is, man. I'm here with my brother Neak one time. You know, I'll be giving it up. Let's go.
A hard time if your motion is still. Let me move some things around because the lyrics is ill. Abstract, you know my sticky D in here. Yeah. Niggas get on and swear it's they fucking year.
Maneuver like Uber moving through traffic. Pursue the loot and I stash it. Usually in the mattress. Used to a looting casket. Be damned if I hit the canvas. The plan was to take advantage, but managed to take for granted damage I couldn't bandage. Abandon what I was branding. The ammo to shoot the shot. 2 hands to handle the cannon. Famished to get a load of me. Notably on the lower key. Own it until they over me. Flow as deep as the poetry. Hopefully wake up the smell of Folgers and the potpourri. Arise to the occasion holding roses in the rosary. I know defeat, but know the sweetest thing is feeling victory. Life can be a bitch and she's a trip and need a chivalry. It's killing me. Living free to make the most at least. Pay the price and take a night. It's looking like it's no relief. Cause ain't no sleep when you're a dream chaser. I take a look at God's grace and know I seen favor.
This the American dream.
Let's go.
Seconds from a friend, have to get and clap what it means. Means something in my color scheme, evil. Breathe, that's what they want us to believe. That all niggas is thieves, not working. To be the greatest is simple life, let you be. Oh, we take it in blood, check out police flow. We learn that through NWA, whoa. They showed us how this crooked shit go. Cause you can't let them hold you down, we hold you up. Let the stain for the crown we hold. Lift you up, bet this rolls from the concrete rise. Through highs and lows, struggle through the throes.
Johnny United, Smitty Black, what's up?
Cause these niggas never grow up. You see me throw a towel in, you better get a close up. Destined for a poster in post-Trump. Millionaires screaming off the boats, what? Can't tell me nothing when that bread boast up. To flip a crumb, thumb, pressing for the wonder. Blind to the blunder, no mistakes for a king on this tundra. Chilling on these curtains, what's the outcome? Cleaning my artillery like Malcolm. Whatever soever, my legacy is solidified forever. Chicago on my mind, we hold you down and sever. Anybody trying to hold us down and slow you up. The moral of this verse, niggas keep your head up, come head up, come head up, come head up, come head up.
1, 2, 1, 2. And now we giving it up. All Neak. Innenstadt drops Friday. For those that don't know, Chicago shit underground. You know how we do, baby. HOD House of Divac Radio. Let's go.
No residue of profits. Idolizing Johnsons, Bobbies are bumpies, tailoring their conscience. Of inner city blues, making profit off the vapor. Raising black youth like the 7-day for savior. Self-centered caper, Lorenz Tate blueprint. Suffer for a dead president, hate is evident. Thought, wanna settle it, can't reach the betterment of life less the metal get. Free like Coretta meant, just to see a future. Model broken hearts, I ain't no Medusa. Stone shooting blue up, can't knock a Lucas. Gotta find a way under 25 suit up. Church chillin' views up. Wanna be successful, Drake cliche. I strive for it, but my sinning is the delay of what I'm living, seeking heaven through the sound scan. Can't straight, gotta make it, that's who I am.
Yo, check this out, man. Let's do a God to the death. See, I'm for real. Making promise, damn, where you from?
Easy times is hard.
Check this out, man.
They want us all born eventually. You gotta love it though, somebody still speak from his soul. So what you want?
Please God help the middle class. The rich steady getting richer. Are they feeling bad? These politicians fighting for me, though they never had my best interest in their heart, and now I'm going mad. So I say, please God, help the middle class. The richest say they getting richer, are they feeling bad? These politicians fighting for me, though they never had my best interest in my heart, and now I'm going mad. They say the more money you count problems. But our issues adding up, but they're not in the wallets. Pressure mounting on my queen like Hollis acknowledge this.
No personas, what's up?
Exotic, sort of foreign, meaning it's strikingly
Smart mouth, what's up?
We can see the American
if you Stokes, what's up?
Cuticles are poison. Only rationale I'm drawing up. You wanna blame my parents for birthing me in the rut of the ghetto. Bad planet, bad childhood, not a problem for the White House to settle. Preachers in the loudest falsetto, they try to reason with God to save every last soul. I'd rather go on to Mars, where I'm loved in every single heaven. Appreciate what I does. I'm tired of being judged by my color. It's hard to stay away from what I never had. A fair chance, a fair shot, I make it last. So I say, please God, help the middle class. The rich is steady getting richer. Are they feeling bad? These politicians fighting for me, though they never had my best interest in their heart, and now I'm going mad. So I say, please God, help the middle class. The rich is steady getting richer. Are they feeling bad? These politicians fighting for me, though they never had my best interest in their heart, and now I'm going mad.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America.
Innenstadt drops Friday, baby. Let's go.
Person in America is the black woman.
Daily she unprotected. The most is disrespected according to Malcolm's lesson. Indicted for her essence for loving black men through stresses and stresses influence never die. Raising kings and queens alone through Reaganomic genocide. War on drugs, take the kings. War on love, killer dreams of healthy homes. Cosby seen. Covers down, what do this mean? Pressure unaccounted for when she the head and not the neck. That she a symbol for. Heart and clean or heart of Tesla. And if she not alive, then she died. Physical, emotional, either willing or anger divide. Foundation, fatherless affirmation. I realize so when she struggle, never seen it stabilize. Black male scared to love him. Well, jail take him so we can't prevail. Hell, go and break the tail. Biblical, how far we fell. Broken princess. This is more or less what everything inside of you was blessed. To let you know.
And that's the way I can take you back. Black queen, man, is to show you better understand. And that's the way I can take you back. Black queen, man, is to show you better understand.
HOD Divac Radio.
Peace to my dog Ro was good, Dion was good, J Manat was cracking. No personas was good with it. Let's go.
I'm never running out of time when I'm ahead of it. A rap ruler in my genre raise it dead from it. It's suicidal through your cheek talk. Now from your charm, I'm the Jesus that can walk just like a dropout. Off with your head if you ahead. Your female culture so I black out. Forgetting God's people brainwashed into a cash cow. You're not a legend if you're falling short-lived. And your lyrics draping jewelry and fast money eulogy would die within the biz. Remember like I said, Fred, right before your hands up in generation. I don't care if you an icon. Quick as you become king, the infrared is dead on the girl drawing Lisa. Wanna fight in jealousy like a hawk. But let it see, devil on my hill, so the hell it be. Nothing but success, just preparing for a downfall. Gotta know what's coming when you fall. So the cat is something that they want, and no, I can't stop. I give them what they want, I'm taking it to the top. You can't take me down, I'm something you can't stop. No, I don't quit. The cat is something that they want, and no, I can't stop. I give them what they want, I'm taking it to the top. You can't take me down, I'm something you can't stop. No, I don't quit. No. We off-writers do this for niggas with pious pushing through the fire for real. Reeling dollar signs through the wire. Frying pan, filling these phonies gon' hit a tire screech. Put them in places where Paul Bearer speak. We off-writers do this for niggas with pious pushing through the fire for real. Reeling dollar signs through the wire. We off-writers do this for niggas with pious pushing through the fire for real. Reeling dollar signs through the wire. We off-writers do this for niggas with pious pushing through the fire for real. Reeling dollar signs through the wire. Frying pan, filling these phonies gon' hit a tire screech. Put them in places where Paul Bearer speak. Habanero flow hot, buzzing until they titties go pop. You know how ladies go when you kingin' on top. Hater wanna fiend shop, push a man, coin flips, no knock, stacking chips. We just need these elders fix, AAs and ailments, driven to gazelle the products. Pressure point for the children on higher roles like viaduct. They shooting first, talking second, simply to buy enough. Time to be a graduated diamond and rough. I'm on point, you off it, I be a a bully invisible. Shit is big rap, Grammy nominated the visual. Say it loud, say it clear, you niggas ain't on our level, so chill, And when they run it back, then it's settled,
It's that two-step right here. Just snap your fingers.
Why I'm so addicted to the power? Cause if I fucking fail, I'm a coward. The questions of a king, throw the flowers. Before you know it, every fucking thing is ours. And all the one is so cold, taking going crazy, killing a good soul.
Oh, we cooking right now on Neak. Shout out to my dog. New album drops this Friday. Let's go.
It's like in any minute, feelings feel the wrong things. And so my leadership is shaping up the wrong games. Flashing gold range, chasing a pretty game without realizing who the fuck is pulling strings. Only call me righteous poor teacher, low down dirty preacher. And what I say is poison to you, it look like an Eva. Bit me right now, apple got the devil's last so leave the tickets black and hearted, foolish motherfuckers out here either with some tiptoe to the FIFA. Out here killing time, the generation just repeat up. Cycle so vicious.
Oh, we got a cook. Shout out to my dog Johnny United. What's up, baby?
She whispered to me, pretty is the form to spit your
1, 2. Brown's Baby Shoes, what's up? Fillmore Green, what's up?
We never going back to him. And share the lessons, cause I died before I go back to him. And back to him, suicidal, I'm an idol, so I thought I gotta be before I make a child react to him. That's everything this crooked world just have to offer. It's only made it look strong. Why I'm so addicted to the power? Cause if I fucking fail, I'm a coward. The questions of a king, throw the flowers. Before you know it, every fucking thing is ours. So cold, taking going crazy, killing a good soul. But just a great women and following these hoes. Want your kids nada, but you fresh with the gold. Falling down. Who gon' say the world when they try to take it down? Who gon' say the world when they try to take it down? It's nothing easy about down, stay above down. Who gon' say the world when they try to take it down? It's nothing easy about trying to stay above ground.
You know we had to run it back one more time. Again, that Innenstadt album is dropping this Friday. Right here. In tune with the one and only Slade Divac. Welcome to the house of Divac. Y'all know we giving it up. Let's go.
When it's all falling down, who gon' say the world when they try to take it down? It's nothing easy about trying to stay above ground. We living for the city, so my Stevie running mouths. Ignored by the critics, they ain't fucking with my sound. Ow, my freedom's in your mouth, and the future's all I got. Better move it like the bows. Out it for I waste time defending what I'm not. A young soul wasting time trying to jot. It's so simple, while I hate a non-believer. Cause I believe in nothing while they ass unachievers and divas. Bitchin' trying to be the very same thing they hating on. Wanna be
yes. Elite, what's up? Cali Fabricator, what's up? When freedom comes, what's good, baby? Go Stand and Collective, what up?
My lessons could've killed me. A 7 in my hell, nigga, feel me. I can hit a slander. I am a king amongst thieves.
The trauma the shit brings.
Yo, I gotta let it go. There's freedom over everything, in case you didn't know. Cause I can hit a slander. I am a king amongst thieves. I gotta let it go. Yo, I'm a raised up citizen, second class, the environment betrays us. Lower this black and body is dying when it never lived knowingly. Flower sees the sunflower blowing these, playing with ease. Broken corners, we blinded by all it breeds. Survival on the line, at a moment it will recede. A simple realization influenced by what is seen. Appointed leaders pushing the product you see flourish and get you free. But Lord, what's going on beyond the skyscrapers? What kind of world's beyond my neighborhood? Will it break us like this? It must be something special. Heard stories of freedom that go beyond the ghetto. Heard lack of wealth, first word impression felt. Third word I grew up in, the fire to the feet I dealt. I see this life ain't like a paradise. Translation life is more like roller dice. Third day, trumpets blown, airway, guns levitate with arms lift. I wouldn't see this way if I was in
Sarah,
the way.
What's up, baby?
If I ain't white, I'm deep.
Elite CEO was good. Ruben was good.
Surrounded by hate, yet I love home. Keep on.
The saying goes, you keep them close and you see the goal. Metaphor for the good life, define as clothes. Pretty girls in a hammer crib. 40 acres, plenty used, hella cannabis. Nothing. The saying goes, you keep them close and you see the goal. Metaphor for the good life, define as clothes. Pretty girls in a hammer crib.
Yeah.
40 acres, plenty used,
But freedom comes with
cannabis.
Moving was good, baby.
Like a celebrity, the twist is life and everything inside this cold bitch. Life's a bitch, life's a bitch. Shoulder chips are getting bigger, baby's getting older. Wife is getting sicker of the dream. I told her one day it will get us plenty richer. And I ain't seen a pretty penny since the good times. It's a tragedy, I swear. Cause when the rent due, this cold world don't even care. So do I love rap or all the dollars it acquires? Saying money don't matter, then I'm Lucifer, a liar. Time is getting shorter, I'll admit it. Chance to rap a sign, add 2 sign. Where my dotted line, niggas? Last year we all rocked the same shows. Difference is they see the world, I see the same woes. Trying to turn my non-believers to believers like I'm Christ. And I'll take the same cross if it can get a nigga known. Posting foreign whips and spaz out on paparazzi. So fresh to death, rockin'
Big shout out to my brother Ro, what's up? Johnny United, thank you, beloved. Mr. Dion, what's up?
Everybody sing, sing.
Living out my dreams. Living out my dreams. Where it's all going. Living out my dreams. Where it's all going. Living out my dreams.
Yeah, we do that. It's one love. Yeah, we do that. Early days, late night. Yeah, we do that.
1, 2. Y'all know how we doing it, baby. Right here, let's go. Shout out to Scrap Dirty, what's good? Hannah, what's up?
I wanna see the world thinking international. Export dreaming touring, illest fashion show. Our shows, hella fans all around the globe. Signing autographs, taking pics, flicking the road. I'm fresh and fresh shit. Record old nights. Could've been shit. No to a ghetto life. So I chose to be a dreamer, repeater, Nina Simone. But need to see I'm a leader and wanna live on my phone. Like, call me. When you around in town, I give you all of me. I'm like, cool, but no. See you later, God, thank you for the flight. Lord knows on my ills, not easy to shake a vice. I see my life is found art, call it carpe diem. Leave a legacy, documented from museums. Be the greatest you can be, it don't do it at all. I live it up while living, giving my all.
Spread love, yeah, we do that. It's one love, yeah, we do that. Early days, like night, yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. It's one love, yeah, we do that. Early days, like
Yeah, it's a joy that we live. Coming from the soul and the glow unforgiving. Hella gold, rocking out to cover what I'm missing. Depicting the poor niggas, you painting the poor picture. I'm breaking the mold, it's a new day. We love our own skin, it's a new wave. Elevated, going higher like a bouquet. No apologies.
My man, you already know what it is. New album on the way.
Fall days, we gon' do amazing things.
1, 2.
Down, give our girls
we are here.
Bleed for my brother, let him know we are kings. Party like it's Prince 99, live our dreams. Love it means can't stop, won't stop. Low growth, low leveling. Neak, Rita J, I can take it off my bucket list. And I'm grateful we came together. Made a song you can rock to and sing forever. Cause we do it for love. Everything we do, yo, we do it to rise up above. Put them up, wave them like you just don't care. Get them up, spread love and live it up. Cause we
love. Everything we do, yo, we do it to rise up above. Put them up, wave them like you just don't care. Get them up, spread love and live it up. What it
HOD Divac Radio.
Yo, this is Kenny Keys from Chicago, and you're tuned into WHOD, House of Divac Radio, or Slot A.
Look, pray to God, we in dire need. I'm moving at a G, searching for a higher speed. Satan trying to hire me. In the pews is where the riots be.
Sarah, what's up, baby?
Quiet sing. Shots fired. After that, tire screech.
One time. Shout out to the West Side 290. What up?
Giving you the entire scene.
Southside, what up? 94 was cracking. 90 what's up? Dan Ryan shit.
Gyms life virtual. I swear we all live in the Sims. Slave to design.
Queen Barb, what's up, baby?
Life Gucci to get it. Yeah, we live on a limb. I fly with God, so it's hard to see me. I'm trying to live and master the art of numbers like Archimedes. Feed my family, homies, and give to the needy. I paint colorful words, yes, all we believe in me. Do you believe in us? They
try to tell you he the truth that you believe the fuss. I know to each his own, born alone, die up in these streets alone. Lead me to the path, but I can only move my feet alone. Reese always told me go and get that bitch Junior. Who knew that guy showing me that bitch was in the music? Be a go-getter, it's more to it than being a flow spitter. When the dough is something you don't own with you. Just believe in me, just believe in us. My nose will stay clean, free from the angel dust. Faith strong to the day the Lord take me up, appreciating life, even when haters make it tough. We drive a hard road full of cracks and potholes. Got grown, feel like I know the same things Pac know. Who do you believe in? Please don't give up on me. Feel like I'm better than I ever been.
Classic shit. If you know, you know. But if you don't, make sure to go hit up my brother. Make sure to go hit up that page. Make sure to go hit up that Bandcamp, that Apple Music. It's right here. Going 2.5 hours, baby. You know how we give it up. Let's go.
The dreamer, the believer. No ID in a common street nigga disease. Dreaming of leader falling. Soldiers back in their misery. Chopping into cigars. Full of smoke. Full of it blowing that Cristiano. Paid in full, I'm an addict. Tailor made in Versace. Racks on my mind. Expose it like federally. Swear I never die in poverty like Only thing I'm killing do is suicide. Sending prayers for players that's debonair. Only one life to live. Put it all in the air. Glass of the finest wine. Chillin' with Zanaes. Serena's Khalees freaky like Strange. Girls know I'm fresher than a trillion. Dripping hella gold like I'm buried in a pyramid. We only aiming for finer things we living in. So it's champagne dreaming, caviar dishes, Cartier frames surrounded by hella bitches. Martin had a dream and nigga we gon' live it by any means. I gotta get it, so it's champagne dreaming, caviar dishes, Cartier frames surrounded by hella bitches. Martin had a dream and nigga we gon' live it by any means. I gotta get it. Yeah. Stay alive. Come on.
Hey, this is Kaylin from St. Louis, and you're in tune with Slaughter.
Love the character, but she said me pow. Mama, I walk around with self-esteem lower. Drama, cause they Jordan's fresh in my feelings.
1, 2. Rocio, what up, baby? J Manat, what up?
So don't hate you but grow. It's hard living. Thank for my old man. Never let it break his spirit when bringing bacon for cheering home. But we couldn't afford to keep me with Nia loans. You know the girls, pretty girls follow who's on. My bigger brother getting fresh about the blue. Yeah, I snuck in Wars gear so the ladies can say, ooh, Dominic, you're looking like my king. Come and get the pussy, they sounding like black E's. Let me get on back, get on track. You say I'm special, how? Everybody hit on that. Looking back, reminiscing, I'm missing my childhood. Crazy in the core, black child can leave the hood in the box from the bang. Bang, bang, no boogie now. Leaving the 20s, I'm ready, I'm speaking to y'all. Could have been like my close cousin serving some time. He said he knew that if it was me, I'm losing my mind. They say that freedom is an art, controlling the mind. On my mind are riches and I want it for mine. Come on, my nigga, let's stay alive. Come on, my nigga, let's take them higher. Let's get to these riches, we are survivors. Before they come kill us, I kill a wire. Setting the willing in my desire. I'm telling these hella haters retire. Come on, my nigga, let's take them higher. Let's get to these riches, we are survivors. Yeah. Stay alive.
1, 2, 1, 2. That was the mix. All Neak.
Yes, sir.
All 30 minutes. Smashing upside your head top. The Innenstadt album drops Friday, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. When you wake up, make sure to get this motherfucking album, man. When you wake up, on your way to work, bump that. While you at work, leave it in your phone, bump that. If you got an office job and you can put the headphones on, bump that. If your ass is at home, bump that. That part, man. You got anything to tell the people before we head up out of here, man?
I just want to say I love everybody for tuning in and checking out the project and sticking around for the mix. Once again, I always want to reiterate, I don't take this for granted. I don't take it lightly. It is an honor and it's a privilege to have your ears. So thank you so much. Innenstadt comes out Friday. It'll be available on all streaming platforms. Just hit up the website, neak.co.com. You'll be able to find it there. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at neak___. Same for Twitter. and stay connected. Shout out to Rashid Hadi for executive producing it. Shout out to you, Slade, for producing on it as well.
Thank you,
Shout
brother.
out to Fillmore Green, Since 96, Yarbrough, and Rashid for featuring on the project. And 8 records will be in your space in no time.
Absolutely. Big shout out to you. Hey, if you like what you saw today, please hit me up on Instagram. Please hit me up direct. Send a whisper if you're on Twitch. Also, if you want to support the platform, make sure to hit the merch store, slade.com/merch. We're not even trying to get your Venmo, none of that shit. I want you to leave with something. One of these is the hoodies that I'm wearing right now. House of Divac merch. Boom, 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 boom. Make sure to go support. That goes a long way, and want to make sure that we not only thank you for supporting us, but we thank you as well. Make sure to go grab that album. Again, every Monday and Tuesday from 10 p.m. to midnight Central Standard Time, we do House of Divac Radio. This week, we implemented a new piece, which is beautiful, which is the virtual listening session. God willing, we'll be able to do more and supply the culture with what they need. Absolutely. Man. Thank you again, Neak. I can't wait for them to hear your album. I can't wait for them to listen, cop, give you all that feedback, send positive energy back for forgiving and emptying yourself and allowing yourself to receive a blessing via emptying yourself, man. Thank you again, brother.
Thank you.
With that being said, we are official.
Friday.
That part. Make sure to go get that. We are out. God bless.